Another Wednesday in the books, and this is what I picked up from my local comic book shop. Thank you all so much. I'm Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like comic book reviews, graphic novel reviews, and just my overall opinions and thoughts on comics and graphic novels, this is the place for you. But yes, let's not waste any time. Let's jump into this video. I've got some books here that I picked up from my local comic shop, and I am super stoked to let you know what I thought about each of them. So let's not waste any more time. First up, we've got Gromets. This is by Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, and art by Brett Parson, and colors by Miranda Denson. Gromets is a story, if you are not aware. Oh, by the way, this is issue number 4 of 7, so a shorter Remender story. I'm a huge fan of almost all of Rick Remender's work that I've read. I haven't read everything, but I am a huge fan of what I have read. But Gromets is a tale about these kids. You've got Brian and Rick. So they're naming the characters after themselves, basically. And they're skater punks from the 80s. Now, I wasn't born in the 80s. I was born in 1990. I'm old. They're going to places like Taco Bell and getting gorditas for, I don't know, 89 cents and stuff. And it's just like some nostalgia that crosses over between 1980 and 1990s. So I'm super with this book, and I skated as a kid. So yeah, this brings me back to the time they're trying to hook up with girls, they're smoking pot, and it's just a very down-to-earth, real world. Like, this is basically Earth, and they're living life. Unfortunately, Rick in this issue gets told something that's going to be changing his entire life. And yeah, I've really enjoyed this series. If you like Rick Remender, this is kind of a peek into what his childhood was like, I feel. I feel like he's just writing himself into these characters, or into this main character, Rick, and then these are probably some instances of what actually happened in his childhood. But Gromets has been excellent. They're skater punks, and I'm absolutely loving this. I definitely recommend Gromets. It's been great so far, and this book was just another continuation on this excellent series. Next up, we have William of Newberry. This is the 4th and final issue in the series. This is by Michael Avon Oeming, and yo, this has some gothic horror vibes, very akin to Hellboy. If you are a returning viewer, you already know that Hellboy is one of my favorite series. The first graphic novel I ever remember getting as a kid was Seed of Destruction. And the art in this book is very Mignola-esque, and not a lot of details, as you can see. Avon Oeming did all the art in this book as well, so it's very heavy shadows, a lot of black on the art, not a ton of shading or other details, but the art is good. It's kinetic, it's energetic. I really enjoy this story. We're talking about William, who is a part of the church, and there are some spirits that kind of got loose, some evil spirits, and in this issue in specific, they have to travel to, I wouldn't say the underworld necessarily, but definitely a different realm, and they're trying to save the souls of 2 small children. This is all the characters in this are obviously little critters. So if you're not into that thing, if that's not your vibe, this book might not be for you. But again, this is a very short series, only 4 issues. There is a definite ending at the ending of this book, but there is a tease for more in this world. I've absolutely loved this series. If you like I said, if you like Mignola, if you like Hellboy vibes, if you like even just gothic horror, you're going to really enjoy William of Newberry. I've enjoyed it. I'm stoked to see more from this creator in the future, and just more in this world, because it all takes place in like England. And so I'm really stoked. I've enjoyed this. I really, really like this series. I hope this gets a trade paperback. Please, Dark Horse, get on that. But yes, definitely recommend William of Newberry. Overall, I would say the series is a solid 4. A solid 4 out of 5. So yes, William of Newberry. Moving on, I have a small press book, and if you watched my video last week, or you watched my short from this week, you will know The Oral Stingray by Aaron Walther. And then we've got some other creators, but Aaron Walther is the creator, the writer. Then we've got Bant, McJunkin, Harner, and Gonzalez also on the book. But this is a small press book, so you're not going to be able to find this probably at your local shop. This series, though, this is the 3rd issue of, I believe, 6. And the first 5 issues are a full story arc, and then the 6th issue is a one-shot that kind of leads into more, that could potentially lead into more. Aaron is a worker, an employee at my local comic shop, and honestly, I was super stoked on this. I finally got it and read the first issue. I enjoyed it. If you take your classic Spider-Man and that kind of trope where a young kid in high school miraculously gets powers and then turns into a superhero, that's kind of this, but tweaked to be the main character is villainous and definitely has some villain tendencies. In fact, in the first issue, at the end of the book, he gets captured by essentially the Spider-Man of this world. Now, it doesn't have spider powers. And in this book, there is a character named Wi-Fi, which can connect to the internet. And they go, he has a mission for Stingray. And they go to a local library and steal a rare romance novel. And it's just the comedy in this. It's a comedic. It's very funny. In my opinion, I really like the jokes, but I will leave a link to Aaron Walther's website. You can check that out if you want to pick it up. I believe it is for sale on his website. You might even be able to read them for free. But in my opinion, I wanted to support my friend Aaron, and I wanted to support small creators. So I bought these. I believe you can read them on his website. But yes, Oral Stingray, if any of this sounds interesting, definitely check it out. It's witty. It's got some hilarious quips that reference like 80s comics. The narration is on point and very much knows that you are reading a comic book. It's very Stan Lee-esque from back in, Lee and Ditko days of Spider-Man. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, check out the Oral Stingray. I will leave his the link to the book in the comments section. Go check it out because it support small creators. Anyways, moving on to not so small creator and a not so small publishing company, the House of Ideas, Marvel Ultimate X-Men, Paige Momoko. I know this has been a really controversial, not really controversial, but a divisive, I'll say divisive book. We've got our 3 main characters, and then the villain of this book rears his head. The Shadow, I think, is what powers the villain has, and this has been good. It kind of got a little, started to drag down in like issue 3 and 4, but issues 5 and this one, issue 6, has been good. The storytelling that Paige Momoko has is extremely visual, which I enjoy. This is a visual medium. This is comics. Let the art, let the drawings carry the brunt of the storytelling, and I've really enjoyed this so far. Paige Momoko's art, in my opinion, you either really dig it or you really don't. And in my opinion, I really like it. She has some amazing facials. Like, her facials are really good. And there's not much color. So when you have a pop of red or heavy blacks in certain sections, you really, really notice it. So I've really enjoyed Ultimate X-Men. I know a lot of people, it's very hit or miss, right? But if you're into this sort of thing, you're into this sort of thing. So I would definitely recommend picking up Ultimate X-Men. I would say this issue is probably a nice 3. It's a nice 3, nothing crazy. We do start to progress the storyline a little bit further in the last couple pages, and I'm really excited. Ultimate X-Men, I've enjoyed it. Moving on to, we've got Frankenstein. This is by Michael Walsh and Tony Marie Griffin. And holy smokes, you know, this is classic Universal Monsters. They're not really reinventing the wheels with this one. They're not doing anything crazy outside of the box. But what we see in the very first couple pages, so I don't feel like this is spoiler or anything, but a young boy is at his father's gravesite, you know, saying, "Oh, Father, I wish you were here. I miss you so much." And then these two guys are start digging up his corpse. And he's got to scurry and run. And then basically the boy follows them to the laboratory. And holy smokes, this one is short, sweet, straight to the point. The art is real nice. Here, I'll actually take this one out of the art. I know I haven't showed off any art, and that's a big no-no typically, but look at this art. Oh my gosh, guys. It is heavy. It reminds me of Sean Phillips. Because there's detail where it needs to be, and there's, as you can see, the secret lair, the secret laboratory. But yeah, this is a nice twist on this book. I'm not sure how long this book's gonna go. This is by Image and Skybound, by the way. All the Universal Monsters, I assume, will be coming to this imprint. But I really enjoyed it. I would say it's short. It is. I don't think it's a full-length comic because there are several pages in the back that are, you know, about the story, and then you've got some ads back here. But Frankenstein, short, sweet, to the point. If you like Frankenstein, you're gonna love this book. I would say this is probably a solid 4, like a pretty darn good comic book, a comic book reader's comic book. So what do I mean by that? There's no fluff. There's not a lot of nonsense. There's not a lot of extra stuff that you would not need. Like, this is straight to the point, solid point A to point B storytelling. I really enjoyed Frankenstein by Michael Walsh and Tony Marie Griffin. There is another book that I want to talk about. That's actually all the comic books that I got this week. But I do want to show off this behemoth. This is Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Criminal, the deluxe edition, volume 1, hardcover, baby. This thing is a beast. I have been on a huge Brubaker and Phillips kick recently. I love the storytelling. Obviously, these guys have won a bevy, multitude of Eisners together, and I am so stoked to be delving into Criminal. Now, I did just read My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies and Cruel Summer and Where the Body Was. Where the Body Was, I don't believe, is in the Criminal universe. Maybe it is, but Cruel Summer is. And I read Cruel Summer first. And if you know what happens in Cruel Summer, we pick up in Cruel Summer, or in Criminal, right where Cruel Summer left off, but like 15 years later. So we follow the same character. And kind of the fallout of what happened at the end of Cruel Summer. Obviously, Criminal has been out a long time. I know that. I'm just now starting to get into it. But I liked Kill or Be Killed. I really loved Where the Body Was and all the other stuff I read by Brubaker and Sean Phillips on art. Sean Phillips' art is the epitome of great comic book artwork, in my opinion. He doesn't do too much. He doesn't overdo it on the pencils, and he gives you just enough. He gives you just enough to where, I mean, this is excellently drawn comic book art. And I believe his brother does the colors. But, you know, if you know Sean Phillips' art, you know Sean Phillips' art. It's really good. I very much envy him as a... I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I like to draw. And I'm very, very envious of the way that he gets a lot out of a little. He definitely... Less is more sometimes with comic book art, in my opinion. This is a episodic. This is, in my opinion, this is Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' magnum opus. Just the criminal story as a whole. Obviously, I haven't read it all, guys. So I'm just going off of what I've heard. But I'm super stoked. I loved it. I am about, what would we say? Let's see. I am 118 pages into this, okay? So I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I'm loving it. If you haven't read Criminal, read it. In my opinion, so far, this is a 5 out of 5. This is a perfect comic book series, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't know how it ends, but I've loved it. It spanned multiple years in multiple different trades and hardcover editions. But yeah, Criminal, absolutely awesome. Art is gorgeous. Sean Phillips, one of my favorite artists in comics. Brubaker and Phillips, in my opinion, are the best team in comic books history, and I know that's saying a lot, but there you go, folks. That is my pickups video for this week. Thank you all so much. I hope you did enjoy this review. If you got value out of it, if you saw anything that you weren't on, that wasn't on your radar that you're planning on getting now, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm coming out with videos as much as I possibly can. While having a day job and everything. So, but yeah, thank you all so much. Again, my name's Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. I appreciate you. And yeah, until the next time, I will catch you on the flippy flop. Adios.